Welcome to another episode. What you on, young Chris? 20 years later, baby. We're up to 40 subscribers. Thank y'all. I love y'all. I must admit I am the shit, and I'm trying to let them know. Y'all the shit now. This is me when I was like in 2006.
I am the shit. I must admit, I gotta let you know. I must admit, I gotta let you know. I must admit, I am the shit. I must admit, I am the shit. I must admit, I am the shit. Gotta let you know.
Cold in the streets, even though it's cold in the streets. Told the police about shit. See, look around me. They holding keys. Bullshit. Otherwise they'll put away another risk. Yeah. Nothing to say. Unsolved mysteries. It ain't changed today. They don't really give a fuck when one of us goes away. They thinking we ain't need it since we dying every day to make shit a little better. I'm trying every way. Lord, give me a sign if it's not the right way.
I am the shit. I am the shit.
Yes, I am the shit. Let me know. I am the shit. I gotta let me know. Y'all the shit, man. Thank y'all for joining me once again. Oh, I can't play that song because it's got copyright issues on the YouTube. Check out that YouTube channel. You know what I'm saying? YouTube channel. That's that Chris Chaos, formerly Little. I wish all y'all the best. No stress. God bless. I wonder if that's even, that's probably something. I think last time I played that one. Shout outs. Yeah. Alright, man. Let me turn that one. I should really get these beats ready before every episode. I should really be doing a lot of shit, but I don't. I'm learning, guys. This is episode 48. Shout out to everybody who followed the Odd Pod channel, or the Odd Pods with the S. You'll see the link in the description. And everybody who subscribed to the music channel, you'll see the link in the description. And if you don't, you just like this channel, that's cool too, man. Thank y'all for being here. I love y'all so much. I can't even explain it, but it's dope. We got a few things to talk about today. But first, let me quench my thirst. Put a hater in a hearse. Tell that world, do your worst. Not really. I'm coming first. True. So I got this little idea. Well, because I showed y'all last time some of my drawings, right? How I taped them, I pasted them on here. So I found some other ones that I had in other places that I also pasted. Look at that. Cacao! Freedom. This is just, some random shit. I had these big Post-its. And so, I was just drawing random shit. Kush Nights, baby. And I really like this robot dude right here. I started sketching these little things, and I didn't know what I was like. I like them. I don't know if they're clouds or something. But then on, I drew Alligator Loki. Shout out to Loki. I do this weird thing, which I've drawn before, which is kind of similar to those random shapes. I like drawing those random shapes for some reason. this is something I'm trying to work on, where it's like your brain pulling to one side and your heart and your piece is pulling to the other side. You know what I'm saying? Constant battle. So then I decided, okay, those little things can be like in one of my stories or one of my comic books. They could be living creatures, and they could have the ability to like move their eyes around and create, you know, sharp objects to fight and protect themselves and shit. And then these are some drawings I had on my desk. See some of those more little weird shapes that I like, little like a witch, this grass thing, this plant, this magical mushroom, and a little one. Now this is a ghost that I created. I like this a lot. This is one of my favorites. This ghost is, if you look closely, he's a dead relationship. There's this crazy giant bird and shit. So they're called love ghosts. And this is another idea for like some kind of background characters for I don't know, something. Copyright, love ghosts. And so they're dead relationships. You see, this one was like a strong relationship, but it died for whatever reason. This one was a toxic relationship, you know what I'm saying? Of course, I love drawing my initials with some toxic ooze on it. I drew a dragon, you know what I'm saying? This little baby dragon back here thing, you know? Of course, my initials again. And that's it so far in the sketchbook, you know what I'm saying? We'll keep going with that. Oh, I do got my dream interpretations today, because I've been writing my dreams and shit. Man, my throat got better, but yesterday was a full moon, so I charged up my crystals. So they should all be charged up beautifully. I've been seeing a lot of angel numbers today. Was it today or yesterday? Yesterday I saw 222 a lot. And I was kind of down in the dumps, but if you saw, I went to, on my vlog number 5, I went to the Holocaust Museum. And that was a very humbling experience. An incredible experience, very educational, moving, definitely surprised. Very good people work there. They have this interesting part where it's like a hologram of a lady who's still alive and lives in London who survived the Holocaust. And you can ask her questions, but my voice was kind of going out, and then I guess, I don't know. She didn't understand my questions and she didn't hear them. But I asked a couple, because, you know, some of the people were being shy. I was the first one to like ask a question. Like, and I asked her, what did freedom feel like? But there was certain ways she got awarded, like how was it to be liberated, and you know, and I don't even remember her answer for that one. I don't even know if she answered it right. But she was talking about survival, though. Like, you don't even think about survival. You're just there. You just exist. In those camps and shit. And she was like a musician, and when she got free, like thanks to her sister, who already, like, both of her parents died, but all her sisters lived, and it was interesting. It was cool. I think, you know, I assume some people go there and they don't interact, right? But we got to go for free. I don't know how my mom hooked us up. She knew somebody, and I'm glad we went. Next, probably the next vlog might be from the JFK museum. It's like the 6th floor museum. So yeah, but then I started seeing 222, and as we know, 222 is like new beginnings, new opportunities. You know, I'm still struggling financially from my poor decisions from last week. But I have friends, and I have family, and I have life, and I have clothing, and I have clean water. And it's hard to complain or get down on yourself when you realize what children had to go through. You know what I'm saying? Like, kids had, and I took my son went too. Very eye-opening experience. I definitely recommend it. I still need to go to the DMA. I mean, I live in Dallas. I've been living in Dallas for so long, and I haven't even done these basics. It was an amalgam of, so that means like it was a combination of different schools, high schools, college. I don't know, every school that I've ever been to. It was a combination of all these schools put together, right? And I remember the restrooms. The restrooms were horrible. There was like shit floating. It was like fucking disgusting. And I don't know what the point of that was. That was a weird dream. I did write down some, but I didn't write down the reason for that one. The dirty restroom. I should have looked that one up. I gotta look that one up later. Anyway, let's continue on the dream. Shout out to my sister for giving me this book. Shout out to the moon because it was full yesterday. Alright, another one I had an amalgam dream of it was like a bar mixed with Levine's that I used to work at, mixed with Hollywood movie theaters. So it's like a combination building of games and the movie theaters on this side. It was just like Hollywood, but then you could also drink there, which I guess you can in movie theaters now. And I saw people from high school, people that, the gangsters from high school. The ones, when I was a freshman, the school that I went to had a lot of the gangsters from my middle school. So these were people that I was kind of intimidated by. But also wanted to be friends with. So they were there and I just like, say what's up to them, but I didn't really hang out with them. It was just like how it was in high school. Oftentimes in my dream, it's like before work. It's like either the night before work or it's usually the night before work. And like, I guess Natural Grocers is closed, so I go looking for these at this, there's a convenience store, and it's amalgam, and it's like North Dallas, Garland, Levine's parking lot. Sometimes they have the energy drinks and sometimes they don't. And sometimes they have them in different places. So I'll look around, I'll go in that dream store, and I go in there and I go to the location where they're usually at, just a few usually, and I'm just like, okay, I just need a couple in there. But I've been to different stores. There was one store that was like, it's usually, I guess, like the Levine's parking lot. It was like a store because right next to it was like a tire shop where they worked on cars and shit. So I had another one where a friend of mine that I went to school with, I think it was like my best friend. I think I told you about this one, where he got choked and then punched, and I couldn't do anything about it. So I reported it to the counselors. But at the same time, I was like, I worked there, but I went to school there. So I was trying to get my report card for the end of the last day of school. It was crazy. And like, my friend was like real cool with those people. So it was like, I was like, did y'all just, like, it was so dumb because instead of like fighting, I'm like, y'all just hit my friend. I was like, did y'all just knock him out? And he was in the car, and they're like, nah, man. I was like, oh, but I told the counselors. Because then my friend kind of woke up and he was like, nah, man, I'm good. So it was weird. I had a dream that my son needed 2 different sizes of shoes. So I had to hit a lick. I had to steal them. There was another dream another day where it was an amalgam of different apartment complexes. I've been to a lot of different apartments in my lifetime. I've lived in some. My son lived in a couple different ones with his mom. And then I've delivered some. So sometimes I go to one that's like, the part of it's kind of like kind of scary, but usually it's like, I'm usually fine, And I usually either had like an uncle living there, a cousin, or it's like also like a hotel, so I'm staying like in one of the rooms or something. When I go to the hotel one, that's a dream I have frequently where I cross the border to Mexico, and then I always have so much clothes that I have to leave clothes at the motel, and my dad's still renting the motel, so that when we come back, we can bring the rest of the clothes. Dude who was used as an informant when he was 14 years old. And now, white boy Rick, that was his name back in the day, is suing the FBI for $100 million. Now hear it out. In 1984, a 14-year-old boy named Richard, aka Ricky Wersch Jr., tagged along when his father went to a McDonald's to talk with an FBI agent. He didn't know the meeting would lead to him becoming a cocaine dealer, getting shot, and spending more than 3 decades in prison. Jesus. Before the fateful meeting, Richard Wershe, is Wershe, Sr. had grown worried when his daughter started dating the drug dealer. So he contacted the FBI to ask him. So it's his dad's fault. I thought the dad was like working with the FBI, but damn. And to see if they could get him out of her life, according to a federal lawsuit filed this week in the Eastern District of Michigan. At the McDonald's, McDonald's get all kinds of bad fucking press. Agent Jim Dixon agreed to do just that, but only if Wershe Sr. identified some people in photographs Dixon had brought with him. Wershe Sr. wasn't of much help, apparently, but Ricky was. The teenager named most of the people in the agent's photos. Oh, the kid fucked up. He knew them because they were his classmates and friends from the neighborhood. They'd all grown up together on the east side of Detroit. Shout out to Eminem. The meeting at that McDonald's was the start of a 37-year chain of events that led to Wershe Jr., now 52, filing a $100 million lawsuit on Tuesday against the city of Detroit. 2 former FBI agents, 2 former Detroit police officers, and 2 former federal prosecutors. In the lawsuit, Wershe alleges that the FBI agents and Detroit police officers spent years working him as an undercover confidential informant. In doing so, they had him buy and sell drugs from dealers around Detroit, even after he'd been shot. In what amounted to a years-long campaign of government grooming and indoctrination into criminality, according to the court documents. Damn. And this is just one person that has the ball that survived it. I bet you there's people who went through that shit, who became informants and didn't survive, who got shot and killed. And their FBI probably not taking any fucking rap for it. And when Wershe was arrested, the FBI agents and police disappeared, hanging the teenager out to dry, he alleges in his suit. The justice system hasn't been fair to me over the last 33 years. The day he filed his lawsuit, he told him that the justice system has not been fair to him, which he wants this to be his last clash with the justice system, of course. But I think this needs to be done. The people who did this to me need to be held accountable. And he is correct. 100% correct. Shout out to that guy, man. Smoke one for him. So now, the assassination of Haiti's president exposes role of ex-Colombian soldiers. The assassination of Haiti President Jovenel Moise this month has exposed an industry of retired Colombian soldiers who feed private security. Alright, so last time we found out they had some Americans with them. Now we find out they got some Colombians with them in Haiti. So that just shows you that it's deep, but they have it so watered down to other organizations and shit that the main person doesn't really get caught. You know what I'm saying? The real culprits. It's crazy, man, but that's how it is. At least for now. At least for now. At least for now. Moving on to another song. Angel Number of the Week. Now this one I haven't seen. It was periods of time. When I see it, it's really special because I rarely see it. Shit, one time I saw it like at Chick-fil-A. On my receipt. It's really rare seeing it, but when you do, you know it's special. 777. Seeing Angel 777 means you are in energetic alignment with the universe and are in a perfect vibrational match to bringing in blessings, miracles, good luck, happiness, abundance, great opportunities, and a sign of your dreams coming true. The message from your angels is recognition and applause for not only asking for their help, but acting on your intuition and taking action on guidance from the divine. All that is happening in your life right now or is soon about to enter is a result of your work on staying positive and being an energetic match to manifesting everything you desire in this lifetime. The angels and universe want you to continue feeling these positive high vibrations so even more blessings can fill your life. As a high vibrational number, 777 resonates with the spiritual awakening, collective consciousness, development of spiritual gifts, which includes intuition, clairvoyance, empathic abilities. And part of your purpose here on earth is to spiritually evolve and apply what you have learned to inspire, teach, and be of service to others, leading by example. Seeing angel number 777 is a gentle nudge to continue learning about spiritual practices and even explore topics, hobbies, or skills that spark your interest. Take this time to get to know yourself better. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are some of your best qualities? What is it that sets you apart from others? By doing this, we become self-aware and more in touch with our true selves, which leaves less room for the ego to intervene. Seeing angel number 777 means you are in energetic alignment with the universe and are in perfect vibrational match to bring in blessings, miracles, good luck. And I already said this part. I double copied it. And I think I already said this one too. So let me skip down. The purpose of our existence is achieving lasting peace and happiness. Our guardian angels have a mission to help us accomplish these goals, and they do so with support from the universe. According to this, it says the majority of people still don't believe in angels, but they experience and benefit from their presence and help in their everyday lives. Our guardian angels usually don't appear to us in person and instead use subtle ways of communicating their information to us. Subtle is such a weird word because it looks like subtle. The symbolism of the number 777 consists of a tripled influence of the number 7. The number 7 itself is a very spiritual and mystical number with a very powerful influence. It symbolizes the universal consciousness, spirituality, and spiritual evolvement, which leads to spiritual awakening and enlightenment. This number also symbolizes intuition, inner guidance, inner wisdom, a deeper understanding of things and people, empathic gifts, psychic abilities, natural healing abilities, and healing, faith, religion, secrets, philosophy, mysticism, rituals, peace, perseverance, and endurance. It also symbolizes knowledge and knowing, gaining knowledge, learning, studying, teaching, education. It symbolizes isolation, introspection, independence, nonconformism, emotions, feelings, persistence, stoicism, perfection, silence, dignity, being ahead of times, evolution, inner strength, individuality, idealism, good fortune, science, alchemy, intelligence, geniality, specialization, logic, and sharp motherfucking mind. This number also symbolizes manifesting your desired reality through your thoughts and emotions. The tripled energy of the number 7 creates the number 777, which then symbolizes knowledge of mysteries and secrets. Open your heart and expect miracles to happen soon. The number is a confirmation that you are divinely guided in finding the right love. You know, I was invested. I found the depot because I was like, man, this one's special. I knew it was special because, you know, it's just it's always a lucky number. With the angel number 777, the universe, the ascended masters, and the angels remind you how lucky you are. They ask you never take anyone or anything for granted. Be appreciative of all the good there is in your life, regardless of how big or small it is. or it seems. Appreciate all kindness and help you receive from others. And remember to always say thank you. One more little line about number 777. Make others happy and share your happiness with them. Be kind and generous with your blessings. The universe watches your every move. Everything you take for granted and you don't appreciate will be taken away from you eventually. And I don't know what that has to do with 7, but on the website that was talking about angel numbers, it said that, so take that with however you take that. All right, so that was the angel number. We did the strain. Now we just have the badass woman of herstory. And we'll wrap up another episode of the Friday podcast. So this one kind of tied in with my trip to the Holocaust Museum because she fought in World War II. Her name is Simone Segouin, born the 3rd of October in 1925. She was also known by she had a warrior name. Her war name was Nicole Menet. She was a former French resistance. She's still alive, by the way. She was a French resistance fighter who served in the France Tireurs et Partisans group. No, I butchered that. Among her first acts of resistance was stealing a bicycle from a German female military messenger, which she then used to help carry messages. She went on to take part in large-scale or otherwise perilous missions, such as capturing German troops, derailing trains, and acts of sabotage. Segouin, I don't know how to say her name, and I should have looked it up before I did this. Segouin was born in Chartres, France, and grew up alongside 3 brothers. Her father had been a decorated soldier in World War I, so it was in her blood. She attended school until 14, at which point she began work on the family farm. In an interview with Jack Belden, published in Life magazine in 1944, under the headline, "The Girl Partisan of Chartres," Segouin and Lieutenant Roland explained that Segouin's involvement with the resistance arose after the two met when she was 17. The lieutenant instructed her in the use of a submachine gun and introduced Segouin to other members of his group. In order to join the France Tireurs et Partisans, Segouin obtained false identity papers, which established her as Nicole Menet. These papers identified her as being from the port of Dunkirk, which had been bombed early in the war, making it difficult for Germans to verify their authenticity. Segouin began by acting as a messenger and carrying out other small jobs, and later became more actively involved after participating in a successful train-exploding expedition. Lieutenant Roland was Roland Boursier, with whom Segouin went on to have 6 kids. The couple never married, and all of the children bore Segouin's name. Damn, 6 kids, and they all have the mom's name. She was that badass, and they didn't even get married. Segouin was present at the liberation of Chartres on 23rd of August 1944, and the liberation of Paris 2 days later. She was promoted to lieutenant and awarded the Croix de Guerre. Of her role in the resistance, she said this: "I was fighting for the resistance, that's all. If I had to start over, I would, because I have no regrets. The Germans were our enemies, we were French. Simple as that." Segouin gained international notoriety when photographs of her by American photographer Robert Capa were published in Life weeks after the capture of 25 German soldiers in which she took part. Belden concluded his piece on her by noting, "I could find no trace of what is conventionally called toughness in Nicole. After routine farm life, she finds her present job thrilling and exhilarating. Now that the war is passing beyond her own home district, she does not think of going back to the farm. She wants to go on with the partisans and help free the rest of France. After the war, Segouin became a pediatric nurse in Chartres, a street in Corville-sur-Eure, where she currently lives, was named for her. In response to the honor, Segouin said, "I'm very glad to know that people are not indifferent to this period of my life." In 2020, the village hall in Thevars was named for Segouin. So I was interested in a couple more things, which this, it opened me up to this, because I was like, well, what's the French for resistance? And that was a collection of French movements that fought against the Nazi German occupation of France and the collaborationist Vichy regime during the Second World War. Resistance cells were small groups of armed men and women called the Maquis in rural areas. And that's cool because the United States, we didn't have women fighting during the World War II, but the French did. Very interesting. So they, in addition to their guerrilla warfare activities, they were also publishers of underground newspapers. And they were men and women. Wait, let me see. Providers of first-hand intelligence information and maintainers of escape networks that help Allied soldiers and airmen trapped behind enemy lines. The resistance's men and women came from all economic levels and political leanings of French society, including immigrants, academics, students, aristocrats, conservative Roman Catholics, including priests and nuns, Protestants, Jews, Muslims, liberal, anarchists, and even communists was involved in the French resistance, all teaming up in France to fight off the Nazis. It's quite incredible. The French resistance played a significant role in facilitating the Allies' rapid advance through France, following the invasion of Normandy on 6 June 1944. The French resistance provided military intelligence on the German defenses known as the Atlantic Wall and on the Wehrmacht deployments and orders of battle for the lesser-known invasion of Provence on August 15th. The French resistance, which Segouin was a part of, also planned, coordinated, and executed sabotage acts on the Nazi electrical power grid, transport facilities, and telecommunications networks. The French were lit. The resistance's work was politically and morally important to France, both during the German occupation and decades that followed. It provided the country with an inspiring example of the patriotic fulfillment of a national imperative, countering an existential threat to French nationhood. The actions of the resistance stood in marked contrast to the collaborationism of the Vichy regime. So I had to figure out, I had to see what that was. And that's the last part, and we'll be done. Vichy France, which was from July 10th, 1940 to August 9th, 1944. Regime de Vichy is the common name of the French state headed by Marshal Philippe Pétain during World War II. The regime was authoritarian, xenophobic, anti-Semitic, and traditionalist in nature. Officially independent, it adopted a policy of collaboration with Nazi Germany, which occupied its northern and western portions. So even though the government of France was down with this shit, the French resistance was not. Occupied its northern and western portions before occupying the remainder of metropolitan France in November of 1942. Though Paris was ostensibly its capital, the Vichy government established itself in the resort town of Vichy in the unoccupied Free Zone, where it remained responsible for the civil administration of France as well as its colonies. So there's a lot of history there that I will eventually dive into, all because of Segouin Simone. Simone Segouin, a badass, and I'll have a picture up somewhere so we can all pay our due, our respect. She's still alive. What a gangster. What a gangster. And that, my friends, brings us to the end of another incredible show. So let me put on another track before we dip. This one got some decent views. YouTube, remember to check out the music channel, por favor, and the iPod channel. And hit that subscribe, and that like, and that follow, and the comments. It's all amazing. Thank you all for everything.